morning, all of you. So, before starting the session, let me introduce myself. My name is Sheikh Maslan Wali, and I started my career long back since 1995, right from your DOS operating system. In those days, like in the programming part, we used to have like COBOL, Pascal, Basic to Basic, and again we had like C, C++. Over the database side, we had DBase, Foxtrot. Okay, and slowly the other database applications started coming in the market, like Oracle database. So I started learning Oracle database, and to go with the Oracle, we need an OS called as Solaris, which is a Unix-based operating system. Okay, so I started learning Solaris, and meanwhile the Linux open source came. So when I came to know about Linux, I started even learning Linux also, and I was quite interested to go with the open source. Then I shifted my career on the Linux platform, and I'm glad to say today that I had also installed Linux operating system. And not only the designing part, I had given support for many clients, more than 40 plus clients only in Hyderabad itself. Okay, so then I worked on other platforms like IBM AX also. Okay, and I've been working in Zoom from almost 2005 onwards. So almost I can say like it's many years, and I had handled more than 350 batches for our regular Linux course. Apart from that, I've also gone through advanced Linux where we discuss about clusters or SAN like iSCSI target, okay, and MySQL. Then we have like certifications and all that, SS certifications, how to generate the certificates and all that, okay, LDAP concepts, load balancing and all that. So for the last 3 years, I'm working on now cloud. So on the cloud, I started with the Linux OpenStack, and while working with OpenStack, I was got familiar with the AWS also. And currently, I think I'm taking more than I had already taken 50 plus batches now for AWS. Okay, so currently I'm dealing with AWS as well as OpenStack. Apart from that, I take a regular classes for Linux and advanced Linux, and also dealing with shell scripting and Python. Academically, I did my MCA Computer Science. Again, it's a long back, a long story we can say. And as you know that in the future, the new technologies are going to come up like IoT, Internet of Things, artificial intelligence. That means everything is getting coded now. Everything is getting programmed now. Okay. Now today's session is regarding your cloud computing. So we'll see what exactly is the cloud computing. So our agenda is today to discuss to understand what is cloud, what are deployment models, what are service models, what are the advantages or disadvantages of cloud, what are the market scope, what certification we are going to cover, and what are the topics we are going to cover. Okay. So this is what we are going to try to cover today. So somewhat we can say like for today's class, somewhat overview type of things we can discuss, and the core topics will be starting from tomorrow onwards. Okay. Now this session is for those who are not familiar with the cloud technologies or who are very freshers. Okay. So I'll try to give my best. So in order to understand cloud, let us start from some fundamentals which will help all of them to understand what exactly is cloud, why it has boomed up, and why it is there from the last 3 or 4 years. Okay. So before understanding, as I said, let's try to discuss certain basics. Okay, fine. So when you talk about cloud, at the back end some data center is there. Okay. So any idea what is data center? Yes. Any idea? Fine. Most of the answers what I get, it's regarding a storage or it's regarding a data storage like that. It's not like that. You see the picture on the screen. We have many images over the screen, which gives the idea about how the data center looks like. Okay. Now, in order to have sorry for that. So data centers are the places which are facilitated with many other facilities. For example, mainly your data center will consist of your servers. Not only servers, it has storage, firewalls, routers. That means all the IT infrastructure what is required in order to run your server applications and all. Okay, those things will be available in the data center. Okay, So these data centers should be having some primary facilities like a power supply. Now, without a power supply, if you open somewhere a data center in some remote village, then that is not going to support you. Okay, why? Because we can't provide a 24 hours of power supply. These data centers generally you have places like IT parks. So where the IT parks they are facilitated by power, multiple, we can say a power from the power grid, so that if power is not coming from one power grid, still your power supply or electricity is available from the other power station. Apart from that, because you're going to put your servers over here, and the servers are going to run for 24 hours by 7 by 12, so they will generate a lot of heat. So they need, yes, a lot of cooling equipments like ACs and all that. Okay, so you have to provide a 24 hours of AC supply, 24 hours of power supply, and you also need to have internet. Why internet? Why network connectivity or internet connectivity? We'll discuss. Okay. So what exactly a data center contains? Data center contains the servers, firewalls, routers, switches, okay, bridges, the storage, all those things. Okay. Let's start from the servers. So we have few types of servers. If you see these images, we have a rack server, we have a tower server, we have a bridge server. Okay. Now what are the advantages, or why should we go for a particular server? Okay. So the rack server consumes less space. It is flat in nature. It is also called as flat server. Okay. But we cannot accommodate too many hard disks here. Okay. Then we have one more category of server which is called as T server or tower server, which has more facilities to add some more number of CPUs, and if you see the front panel, we can add more number of hard disks. But the moment you want to go for more CPU power or more memory power like that, okay, in that case we can go for a bridge server. So bridge server is a system which can accommodate multiple motherboards, and these motherboards can have multiple CPUs. Okay, so these type of servers are kept where? These type of servers are kept in your data centers. Okay, now who is going to have the data center? See, many companies like IBM, or we can say like MNCs, TCS, Tech Mahindra, Infosys, Satyam, Genpact. Okay, so they have a very big infrastructure. They have their employees to maintain their data centers. But if I take an example of, let us say, some IT or non-IT based companies who requires some IT infrastructure. Okay, let us take an example of Hyderabad. Let us say we have 10,000 companies in Hyderabad. Okay, so out of that 10,000 companies, how many companies are going to have an employees? Around 1,000 or 2,000 or 500. So you can hardly see that only MNCs would be having it, but remaining 80% companies, they might be having some programmers, some developers, and all that, but they would be not maintaining their infrastructure of data center. Why? Because it's a lot of, we can say, a lot of manpower is required to maintain those things. Okay, a lot of infrastructure facilities are required. Okay, so the companies, if you talk about Hyderabad, we have certain data centers like Control S, or like we have uh, TCS. Okay, apart from that we have like DOT. So in our case, like Zoom Technologies, we used to keep our servers where? Okay, so we had kept our servers in TCS data center. What does that mean? So 80% of the companies in the world, what they do is they keep their servers in their data centers. Now these data centers, based upon your servers, okay, they'll charge for that. Means what? What they are going to charge for? So they are going to charge for the space what the servers are going to occupy in the data centers. Okay. Apart from your space, they will also charge you for the bandwidth what you're going to consume. So what is the meaning of this? The meaning is that 80% of this data, 80% of your servers are in the data centers, and these data centers they provide all these facilities. Then how you're going to configure your servers? How you're going to use your servers? So all this, we can say, even though your data center, let us say you have a rack in nearby room and you have 2 or 3 servers. Okay, Now in that room, all your AC is running, all that facilities are there. Are you going to sit there continuously in that room? That is not possible. Why? Because 24 hours when the AC is running, we can hardly sit there for 1 or 2 hours. After that, our body will start shivering. So even though your server is just next to your room, okay, you're going to connect how? So you're going to connect by using what? A remote access. That means if it is a Windows machine, you need a remote desktop. If you have a Linux machine, you can go for SSH secure shell or a VNC. Okay, that means even though your server is in your own building, in your own premises, or maybe in the remote place at the data center, you're going to access your servers, you're going to configure servers remotely only. So 80 to 90% of the servers in the world are always accessed remotely and they are outsourced. Okay, so all that means it depends who is going to maintain the data centers. Okay, so what a conclusion then? The conclusion is that we have servers and servers are well in the data centers. Okay, now to better understand this, let us take one example. Okay, let us say, okay, let us have some hardware, some idea about hardware, because when you start working, okay, we should have some basic idea. If I talk about Intel processors, like we have many categories of processors. Like if you go for IBM, we have power processors. Okay, you go for Sun Microsystem, we have some like a Spark and Ultra Spark processor. Okay, like that in Intel also we have few categories of processor, CPUs. What I mean to say. Okay, so if you start with the i386 Intel architecture 386, okay, 386 processor. So right from your 386 to P4, that means 386, 486, Pentium 1, Pentium 2, Pentium 3 and Pentium 4. They are a 32-bit processor. Then after the coming of dual core or Core 2 Duo, we had 32-bit as well as 64-bit. Okay. Then we had i3, i5, i7, and now we are going to have i9 also. Okay. Now if I say like I have a server, let us take an example of tower server, and in this tower server, I am having, let us say, 4 sockets to fix your 4 CPUs. Okay, 4 separate sockets. Now tell me, out of these categories, in this list, what are the processors are displayed? Can you tell me which processor will be used? Yeah, so many of you will give the example like dual core or i3 or i7. No, all these processors, all these CPUs are not designed for servers. Okay, so they are not designed for servers. So when we talk about servers, okay, so for servers we have a Xeon processor or Itanium. So Xeon is 32-bit as well as 64-bit, and Itanium is here core 64-bit. Okay, and these type of processors are used in all type of this hardware. Okay, like rack server, tower server, bridge servers. Okay, so this is what we have in the data centers. Fine, connected with the routers, connected with the firewall, connected with the other devices. Okay, maybe fiber channels, fiber switches, and all. Okay, fine. So if you see this slide, so only for desktops and laptops we use the left side like i386 to i7, and for server side we use what Xeon and Itanium. Fine. Now I assume that, let us take one example. How do we connect to the data center? Okay. Now I assume that we have some, let us say like ICICI Bank is there. So the ICICI Bank main data center earlier was in Mumbai. Now we have one more data center of ICICI Bank in Hyderabad near Gachibowli. Like that, there are so many banking sectors, so many commercial sectors where the data centers are located in certain areas. You'll find most of these data centers somewhere in, if you talk about India, somewhere in Mumbai or Cochin or Chennai or Visakhapatnam. Why? So you should try to understand the global infrastructure of how the internet are connected. Okay, so these internet cables across the globe are connected from the sea, inside the sea. Okay, and the cables are distributed across the sea, and all the main cities which are there across the sea, these seas are the entry or exit point. So I assume that in India, if you want to blog a YouTube site, so I'm going to blog at these points. Okay, That's the reason that Mumbai, Chennai, Cochin, Visakhapatnam, they have very big data centers. Okay, very big data centers. Okay. Now, how do you connect the remaining branches to this data center? So as I said, let us take the example of ICICI Bank. So their data center is somewhere in Hyderabad and somewhere in Mumbai. Okay, few in Chennai also are available. So how the other branches will be connected? How they are going to configure their servers? How they are going to store their data across the servers or across the storage? Okay. So long back, if I say like 10 or 15 years back, okay. So these branches, how do they connect? Yes, those who are done CCNA, they can try to answer it. Okay, let me continue then. So these are connected using what? A lease line. So in those days, we used to have like a lease lines from our premises to the telecom department, and from that telecom department, from one city to other city, they will have the connection, and again from there, they will have the local lease line. Okay, so the telecom department are going to facilitate the connectivity for lease lines, and they'll charge for monthly or yearly. It depends. Okay, so even in order to get 1 Mbps or 2 Mbps line, it was very expensive in those days. The other cheaper, we can say, to reduce your cost, you can also go for ISDN lines. Okay. If you are studying, if your clients or if your branches are somewhere in the island or somewhere in the remote places, you can also go through what? A satellite connection. Then, if you're studying at home or you're not in the office and still you're working, okay, with your company, and assume that you want to work from your home, then you can also connect to the office, to the corporates by using what? VPN connection. Okay. So some sort of internet connection is should be required in order to go with the VPN connection. So this is how the things are available in the IT industry. Fine. Now let us take an example in order to understand cloud. Why we are going for cloud? How the infrastructure is working? How the cloud infrastructure has been provisioned? Let us see. Assume that my requirement is I want to have 10 database server. So suppose my data center is somewhere in Bangalore and my clients are somewhere in Delhi, Chennai, or Hyderabad, or some other city. Let us take, like let us say Nagpur or Pune, something like that. Okay. Now from Hyderabad branch, so my main data center, let us assume that it is in Bangalore. Okay. Currently, let us assume that the main data center for our company is in Bangalore. But our branch, they require 10 more database servers. Now, what will the procedure to get 10 database servers? Okay, fine. So what is going to happen? So first of all, like if you want to have a database team will be there, a system admin team will be there, a storage admin team will be there. Okay, customer support engineers or hardware engineers or the build team will be there. Okay, so you have to generate a ticket from your branch. Now this ticket will be raised from your site and go to the data center. Now based on the priorities of these tickets, the job will be assigned to different team. Okay, so let's take the scenario of this. So the first request will generally will pass to whom? So to the build team. Now what the build team is going to do? Now the build team is going to provision the hardware. They need, either they might have to purchase the hardware. Okay, even if the hardware is there, they have to check it. They have to check all the components are working properly or not. And these machines will be kept in a burning state. Okay, burning state means they will put a load on CPU, processor, RAM, network, and all that. And if it passes that burning state, then they will put their servers in the rack. Okay, and these machines might be having dual power supply also. So when you put these machines in the rack, they have dual connectivities, dual power supplies. Okay, so that if one power supply fails, you will get the power from the other power supply. So data centers, they have always dual power supply. Even your servers will be having dual SMPS power supplies. Okay, so build team is going to check all the hardware. They will get the hardware, and then they provide then a ticket will be issued that the hardwares are available. Okay, then on the top of that, now who is going to work? So we have a system admin team. It could be a Windows system admin, it could be a Linux system admin or Unix like Sun or IBM. Now the job of your system administrator is to install the OS, to add the patches, okay, to update the softwares, to configure the servers like web server, DNS server, DHCP server, sometimes proxy servers. Okay, so this task will be taken care by system admin. Now the system admin job is, because we want to have database on this machine, system admin job is to install the OS, to get all the proper drivers and everything, to add all your patches and updates, to okay. So all the prerequisites should be added by your system admin, all that licensing and everything. Then the request will be sent to whom? To the database team. Now, what a database team is going to do? A database team, depend upon their requirement, they are going to configure database application. Okay. So this is how the tasks are done by different teams in production. Fine? Fine. Now by 2008, slightly these concepts got changed. Okay. Now instead of having a giant or huge machine, as the semiconductor and electronic devices started becoming more and more cheaper, okay, we started moving towards another layer of technology, which we call it as virtualization. Okay. So anyhow, so this is how we used to connect to any of our data center. Now let's take the example on the next layer after 2012, as VMware started capturing the market. Sorry, 2008. After 2008, as the VMware started capturing the market, now there was boom for virtualization. Okay. So what is the virtualization? What is the hypervisor? We'll see that. Okay. Let us see. So a hypervisor is a OS or application which is installed on your hardware, just like your operating system, or maybe it is of two types, type 1, type 2. Okay, so when you talk about type 1 hypervisor, that is a OS which is directly installed on your hardware, which allows you to run multiple virtual machines. So these hypervisor machines are called as host machine, and the virtual machine what they run on that is called as guest operating system. Okay, so there are two types of hypervisor, just now I said. So when you talk about type 2 means it depends upon your running operating system like Windows machine or Linux machine or FreeBSD or any of the systems like that. We'll see that slide. Okay. So when the virtualization concepts came, now the same thing you want, what we had in the earlier scenario, let us say, I want to go with the same scenario. Now what will happen? So when you talk about a servers like Blade servers, the advantage of Blade server is you can have more CPU, more RAM. Okay. So then that will be connected to your storage boxes and all. So let us take the same example. So I want to have 10 database servers. Okay. Now how you are going to connect? The connectivity will be still like lease line, ISDN lines, or VSAT or VPN. Okay. But again, the build team is going to provision your Blade server. They'll test it and do everything on that. I think the system admin or virtualization team. Okay. Now the system admin got replaced with what? Virtualization team. Now the virtualization team is going to do what? So virtualization team is going to install some sort of hypervisor on such type of machines. Okay. So once the virtualization is installed, and assume that they already have some pre-configured image of your database, or okay, it is almost in that type of scenario. We always have some pre-configured images. Okay. So in that case, suppose I want to have a 10 database servers with so and so specification of hardware and software. So within few minutes, okay, within few minutes I can have a running database application. What is the advantage here? The virtualization. The advantage is, first of all, we can properly use the resources. That is the main advantage of virtualization. And the next advantage is what? Provisioning of your servers on as per the request will be very fast compared to the previous scenario where we used to do everything on the physical machines. Okay. So that is the advantage of virtualization. What is the benefits? The benefits are, you can write some program and you can code that program. Okay, you can run that. So with the help of that program, your OS, your virtualization, your database, everything can be configured. Whereas physically it is not possible to program a physical machine. Okay, but whereas the virtual machines can be programmed, can be coded, can be configured according to our requirements. Okay, fine. Now what is cloud? Okay, So in the cloud, again the build team will have some compute systems like your servers, blade servers like that. Okay, and then again some virtualization is also required when we go for a cloud technologies. Okay, and then we have, okay, sorry, that is, sorry for that. Okay, so let's talk. I'll just give a small definition for hypervisor. Let us see. So what is a hypervisor? So just what I told. A hypervisor is a hardware virtualization technology that allows multiple guest operating systems to run on single machine or single host machine at the same time. That means on your hardware, on your system, you're going to install some OS, which you're calling it as hypervisor. On the top of that, we can install multiple operating system, which we are, as per the definition, it is called as guest operating system. The guest operating system shares the hardware of the host computer such that each operating system appears to have its own CPU, its own processor, its own memory, its own NIC card, like that. Okay. So just now I said there are two types of hypervisors. Okay, type 1 and type 2. Type 1 means it is a bare metal hypervisor. Means what? It directly runs on your hardware. Examples are like VMware, ESX, Citrix, Zen Server, Microsoft Hyper-V, Oracle Virtual Machines. Okay, these are few examples of type 1 hypervisor. It's called as bare metal hypervisor. Okay, the very widely used hypervisor is your VMware ESX server. Apart from that, we have a type 2 hypervisor, also known as hosted hypervisors. These hypervisors, they run on running existing operating systems like Windows or Linux or any FreeBSD Unix like that. Okay, or any other Unix platform. The best examples are like type 1 hypervisor examples are like Voltage hypervisor, or VirtualBox from Oracle, or like VMware Workstation. Okay, these are a few examples of OS-based hypervisor. Then if you talk about like a Linux kernel-based, so as I said, I deal with OpenStack also. So we have KVM, but it has both facilities. It can be configured as bare metal hypervisor when we go with OpenStack, okay, or we can run on top of our Red Hat or existing operating system. It has both the features. So that's the reason that they added from Red Hat 6 the default hypervisor as key. Okay. Just wait for a moment. Fine. So when the cloud computing came, okay, still we have the same data center what we had long back. Again, the data center shifted towards virtualization with the hypervisors. Now, what is cloud? Okay, how these cloud services are provisioned, or how they are providing these services, okay, and how we are using these services. So we'll see now what exactly is cloud. Okay, so assume that again you have a data center, okay, and from that data center you want to connect. So let me explain with few examples. Okay, let us see few examples. Fine. So I'm going to, okay, I just opened a few of the sites as well as let me go to my email account. So this is my Outlook account, and this is our Gmail account. As you see in the Gmail, we have a small checkbox over here which runs multiple Google applications. Okay, like your Google Maps, YouTube, your Google Drive, Calendar, okay, Hangouts, okay. And let me open a very simple application so that everybody can understand. So let us talk about Google Docs. Okay. Have you used anytime Google Docs? Yes. Yeah. Now see here, Google Doc is a application similar to your MS Office, MS Word. Okay. Now, the moment I go with Google Docs, if I click on this icon here, so your Word like application got open. Now, where I am running this application, so you can see this. I am running this application inside the browser itself. But this Google Docs is coming from where? So this Google Doc application is configured where? So this Google Doc application is configured in Google Data Center. They have a team, expert team. They have separate teams, programmers, developers who design this application, who maintain this application, who updates this application. Okay, and that is available over the internet. That means what? I can run this Google Docs in my mobile also within the browser. I can run this Google Docs from my tab also. I can run this from my smart TV also. That means any gadget, any device which has the internet facility and which can run the browser, from there I can run this Google Docs. Same thing you should go with your Microsoft also. Okay, so let me go for Microsoft. Now this is your Outlook mail server, and if you see here, again we have a similar checkbox over here. Okay, so we have like Outlook calendar. Okay, OneDrive, just like your Google Drive, we have a OneDrive here, and again some applications. Okay, so let us say this is your Microsoft Word. The moment I click on Microsoft Word here, a somewhat like Google Docs application got opened here. Okay, now I install this same file in the OneDrive also. So from how I am running this application, is it running within my PC? No, this application is not running in my system. This application is running inside the browser, and where it is running in the Microsoft Data Center. Okay, let me take one more simple example. Let us say math.com. If you want to teach computers to your kids, the best method is let them just allow them to play online games. Okay, so these are online games, so you don't need to install it. Okay, you can run from your own any machine also, any within the browser. Okay, but that means you can run this application any separate browser from your tab, from your mobile. So the kids are not worried about installation or any problem or any virus problem, any hanging, those type of issues. Okay, so this is a gaming server. Where is this gaming server running? So this gaming server is running again from some data center. What I want to say is, all these applications they are able to access nowadays. But is it possible to access few years back when we had 2G connection or very low bandwidth connections like that? So in those days it was not possible. Why? Because it consumes more bandwidth. But after the launch of 3G and 4G connection, you can see a lot of applications got installed in mobile also, as well as online also. People started visiting online shoppings and all that. Okay, so I'm running this application, okay, in my laptop or mobile, and this application is running physically where? In the data center. So what I want to say is, what is cloud? Okay, so what is cloud? So cloud is nothing but one data center, and that data center are running some services. Okay, most of the services like they are virtualized, so that we can configure. Okay, so these data centers will be providing any service. So what do you mean by service? See, in the IT, if one machine is giving anything to the another machine over the network, okay, like if I'm going to share a folder, or I'm giving any IP address, or giving some changing of user and password over the network, okay, so whenever your OS on the network layer gives some resources to the other OS on the network layer, then the machine which is giving the resources to other machine, so that machine will be called as server, or that machine is giving what service. So in the network layer we always have what IP and ports. So whenever you give any resources, so you're giving your resources from certain IP and from certain port. And what is the client? It's the application which takes the resources. Okay. So and whenever you give anything over the network layer to some other network machines, then that is called as service. So what is cloud? Okay. So cloud is nothing but they are giving service. What type of service? So giving the application like Google Docs, okay, Google Excel or Microsoft Docs. Okay, they're giving like Google Drives. Okay, like gaming servers, they're giving the games online. Okay, or all these type of applications. Fine. So whenever you use these services, so when you talk about like cloud, what other services are possible? So not only providing over the website. Okay, so what they do, they provide you a system also. They provide you a router also, a firewall also, a bandwidth also. Okay, that means all those things which are required in your IT infrastructure in your physical data center, those things will be provided by cloud vendor. How they are going to provide? Okay, are they going to send you physically the servers over there? No. So they all had a big infrastructure, because even though you configure your servers, you're going to access remotely only. Okay, and every 4 years or 5 years or 7 years, again the servers, the hardware will get updated, and again you have to maintain that. Okay, you have to go for new machines and all that. So these data centers, regarding your Amazon or maybe a Google or Rackspace or GoDaddy or Windows, Microsoft, okay. So they already have such a big infrastructure that if you want to have 100 machines, they'll provide you 100 servers from their data centers. The only thing is you have to pay. Okay. Not only the servers, they will provide you a server also, an operating system also, a storage also, and on the top of that you can run your applications and all that. The same way what we have in our physical data centers. Then what is the difference between the traditional data center and cloud data center? So traditional data center was only dedicated for that company. What about a cloud infrastructure or cloud data center? Now this cloud means what? So the same data center is not only for certain companies. Like IBM is having their own data center, TCS is having their own data center. Okay, Tech Mahindra is having their own data center. But when we say cloud, so cloud means these data centers are available for the public. That means I can also have 100 servers, you can also have 100 servers, you can also have 100 servers. So assume that you are a startup company and your requirement is like 10 or 20 machines with a 4 socket. Okay, so immediately can't invest. Let us say your project time period is like 3 months. So in that case, either you can hire the machine and complete the project. Okay, okay, but again, lot of maintenance, lot of those issues will come. So what is the advantage of cloud is, if your project is of short time, what I can do is I can take a good number of machines from the cloud, and they'll charge me according to what. So hourly I can pay. So depending upon the usage, okay. So hourly I can pay. So what is the advantage? So instead of hiring the machine, let the machine stay there only in their own data centers with the power supply, AC, everything. Just pay and use it, complete your project, and run your project. Got a point? Okay. Let me give an example. So what I'll do is I'll go to my account. Okay, and let me try to log in. Okay. So I'm just trying to log in to my AWS account. Okay, this is my login screen. Fine. Now once I logged in, yeah, we are going to discuss about all this. Okay, so I'm going for a certain region called as Oregon. Even if I want, I can go for Mumbai. Okay, so assume that I had logged into my Mumbai region. Okay, and what is this? So this is called as a dashboard. Okay, so when I logged in, this is a dashboard of Amazon, or we can also call it as console, or we can also call it as what? Port. Okay, so these, if you see the main topics here, like compute, storage, database, migration, networking, okay, again media services, security services, okay, many services are there, hundreds of services are here. Okay, so I give an example of database. Now see here, I'm going for a database category here, and I'm selecting here relational database service. Okay, so these are all our services. All these services are coming from where? Amazon infrastructure. That means Amazon data center. Okay, so earlier, so let us say I'm going for relational database service. Okay, and let us say I want to have certain database. Okay, so you can see I can select any one of the database. So let us say I'm going for Oracle. Now if you compare with our slide, the previous slide, okay, the first slide, I can say, okay, now see here this picture. So I have to contact to whom? Build team, then system admin team, then database team, and then how I used to get it. Okay, or I can go like this. Okay, but now you see here on the on this console, did I send any ticket or did I contact any build team? No. Did I contact any virtualization team? No. Did I contact any database team? No. So with the help of this dashboard, so what the Amazon or any cloud vendor they have done is they have designed this dashboard. What they have done? They have designed this dashboard. Okay. Now this dashboard has all the service what you want to have in your IT. For example, let us say you want to you want to have a biryani or you want to get a biryani in the hotel. There are two options. One is you ask the waiter, he will take the all that items you're going to order. He will take the order and he will send that order to the cook, and in few minutes he is going to provide all that items. Okay. Other option is you go to what? Buffet. You know buffet. So the buffet means all the items, whatever they have prepared, will be there on the table. What are the items you're interested, you just go and have it. That's it. So this is nothing but this is just like a buffet. Everything is pre-configured. Everything is ready there. Okay. You just select what you want. So I hope that now you got some understanding of cloud. Okay. So what is cloud? So group of services. What type of services? It could be any application based service. It could be a program based service. It could be a networking service. It could be a routing. It could be a firewall. It could be storage. Okay. It could be any monitoring tools like that. Okay. So all these services are coming from where? So they are coming from some data center. So these data center vendors that facilitated all these type of services. So you just select their service, pay it and use it. Okay. So why we say so why it has boomed? Why? So these things were there earlier also. But now it has why it has got boomed. Okay. Now the concept is regarding here. What the backbone to have a cloud service? Yes. The backbone for cloud service is your internet. So earlier we had 2G and 3G connections and they were very expensive. Okay. But now the cost had been reduced. If you talk about like internet usage, the maximum internet usage in the world, it is from South Korea. Okay, they use the maximum internet. But if I say like maximum number of phones, where it is used, so definitely it is India. Chinese they are developing, they are manufacturing that, and we are using it in India. Okay, so why? Because in Central Asia the population is very dense. Bangladesh, India, Pakistan, all these areas are very dense. Okay, and where the population will be more, these type of devices will be used more. In the same way, in the future also, the cloud application, the applications are based on cloud. It will be very easily accessible from your mobile or other networking devices. Okay, network of things or internet of things. Okay, so I hope that now you got the understanding what is cloud. Okay, yes. So let us see few definitions here. Okay, now see it. So what is cloud? So there are several definitions given by different companies from social bodies. Okay, if you want to get all the definitions and some more detailed information, okay, some technical definitions, you can visit a site called as www.nist.org. Okay, so the definition which is given by IBM is like a cloud computing, often referred to as simply the cloud, is the delivery of on-demand compute resources, everything right from your application to the data center over the internet. That means what? So earlier, your company employees can only take the advantage of your infrastructure. Okay, only company employees can use your IT infrastructure. But now who can use it? Any person in the world can have his own data center, can start his own startup company with just whatever the hardware is required. Okay, so what is cloud? So means what? Yeah. So cloud means so whatever the infrastructure, hardware, firewall, router, everything can be configured. Everything we can have it. Okay, and that you can configure from where? So no need to have lease line or ISDN line or VSAT satellite like that. Okay, if you have some good internet connection like 3G or 4G, you can get this dashboard in your browser, and whatever you want, you can just configure it. That's it. Okay. So So a small definition from my side. So in the simple terms, cloud computing means it provides services to access your programs, applications, storage, networks, that means all servers over the internet through your browser or through any client-side application. If, for example, in my laptop, I'm having this meeting in the browser, but on the mobile, I had installed a small application called as GoToMeeting. Okay, and that software gets connected to the this our meeting server. That means to our server. Okay, so you can use a browser or client-side application on your PCs or laptops or mobile or tablet smart TV. The end user is not worried about installing or updating and maintaining them. Okay, he can directly start using the application. Okay, so I hope that it's clear then what is cloud. Okay, so what is cloud? Same data center. Now anybody can avail it over the internet. That's it. So the backbone is what you should have some good internet connection, and that's the reason that from last 3 4 years, okay, the cloud technology had emerged and started had taken a very big had captured a big market, and many of the companies they're getting migrated. They're migrating the servers on the cloud because they have many advantages. So what are the advantages? First of all, maintenance headache will be reduced. The other advantages are like we can also reduce the pricing. Okay, we can if you use proper infrastructure, we can save some good money. Okay, on demand it is available. That means depending upon your requirement, you can just for that particular time, for that particular duration, you can have it. Okay, yeah, some security issues we'll talk about. Some drawbacks also we'll talk about. Okay, so there are different deployment models. Okay, so what are those deployment models? So we have public cloud, we have private cloud, we have community-based cloud, we have hybrid cloud. Okay, so let us see. So when you talk about like private cloud, so assume that you are working in IBM or TCS or Tech Mahindra, and you already have okay some IT infrastructure, maybe on some E6 server, and you are going to automate that with the help of some dashboard. Like in VMware E6 we have vCloud. So if your infrastructure is for your employees, only for your company, okay, then that is called as private cloud. Okay, what is public cloud? Now same data center is available for whom anyone in the world. Okay, then that is called as what? Public cloud. Okay, and what is hybrid cloud? Now few servers you have in your data center, few servers you have in your public cloud like AWS or Azure or Microsoft like Azure or Google. Okay, so in that case it is going to call as hybrid cloud. Okay, and what is community based cloud? So community based cloud, like some of the cloud vendors like even your AWS and Microsoft, they provide uh, cloud services to certain organizations like government organizations or educational organizations like that. Okay, in that case we can go for community based clouds. Okay. We'll see some examples in our coming classes how community based clouds are going to be that is going to play a very important role, just like your open source. Okay, it's going to play a very important role. We'll see that example. Okay, if you want to get more details, you can follow this link to get how the community based clouds are benefited by the certain organizations. Okay, you just visit this site, right, to understand more, and we'll see practically also, or we'll see some more definitions, some examples regarding community based clouds. Okay, so ultimately the summary or the conclusion is a cloud is nothing but a group of services regarding your software, regarding your application, regarding your program, regarding your infrastructure. Okay, so all the services with respect to cloud are divided into three parts. Okay, I hope that you might be familiar with this terminologies. Okay, so the three category of means services are SaaS, 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 PaaS, PaaS, and IaaS. Okay, SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS. So what exactly it is? So these are only we can say like a sort of definition given by cloud vendors. So SaaS is a group of service. This service they used by end user. The end user might be not familiar with IT and all that. Okay, just now I've shown you a few examples like the Google Doc was there, some gaming server was there, the Microsoft Doc was there. Okay, So the end user is going to use this application. He is not worried about installation or updates and all that. Okay. So that category of softwares, when they are provided by some cloud vendor, then that is called as software as a service. Okay. Then we have platform as a service. Now, what do you mean by platform as a service? I have given you one example of a database. Okay. So I've shown you that how the database will be selected and configured. Okay. So if you see, like, let me show you on the screen. Okay. So see here, if I go for here database application, once again, yeah. So if you see, I have just shown you this. Okay. So whenever I want to have any programming platform, like there's already one hardware on that, already the OS is installed on that, already your Java development kit or any software development kit is already pre-configured. So those type of infrastructure or those type of, we can say, facilities when they provide by some cloud vendor like database. So I can say, like, in very simple, if I say two categories of service will come. One is the programming platform will be available. It depends whether you are a C programmer, sorry, you could be a .NET programmer or Python or PHP or anything like that. Okay, that platform will be already available to you. Your job is just start doing your programming. Okay, same way like your Oracle. So no need to install your Oracle application. No need to go with your hardware. No need to go with the OS. That Oracle application, depending upon your requirement, will be configured. Your responsibility or your database team responsibility is what? Just to maintain, take care of your database. So whenever you have two services like programming platform as service or any database application as service, and that is already pre-configured by whom? By any cloud vendor. Now these two types of services will come under PaaS. Okay. So any programming platform which is available for your programmers or developers, or any database platform which is available for your database team. Okay, so that those are pre-configured. So that type of services are called as platform as a service. Okay. Then the last category, that means our 75-80% of our course we are going to deal with IaaS. Okay. Now what is IaaS? So this is mainly for the people who are learning courses like MCSC or Linux and CCN and all that. Okay. So how to configure your Windows machine, how to launch your Windows, how to go with your Linux, how to go with your routing policies, how to go with your firewalls. All these things we are going to discuss in IaaS. Okay. So this is our main part of our course. Okay. Fine. So these are three different layers or three different, we can say, categories of services by your cloud. Okay. Fine. I hope everybody is clear with this. Fine. So few examples you can see here. Few examples of definition. And the coming classes will discuss in more detail. So if you take some examples of SaaS, like SaaS is a software distribution model in which applications are hosted by any cloud vendor or the internet for the end user, freeing the end user from your complex software and hardware, okay, installation or management. Examples like Google Mail, Calendar, Google Doc, Google Presentation, okay, Twitter, Facebook. Okay, so these are the examples of your software as a service. Same way, the next slide, if you see here, okay, we have platform as a service. So just now I explained you any programming platform or database platform when you provide from your data center over the internet to the any end user, then that is called as platform as a service. Examples like AWS Beanstalk is there, Salesforce is there. In OpenStack we have like OpenShift is there. Okay, these are few examples of your platform as a service. Then the third part. What is the third one? Yes, so infrastructure as a service. So that is, as I said, the main part of our course. Okay. So infrastructure as a service is a form of cloud computing that provides a virtualized compute resources. Means what? See, everything is virtualized when you talk about cloud. Without virtualization, we can't imagine a cloud, because when you select the resources or the uh, applications or services from the dashboard, okay, you have selected I want to have Windows machine, Linux machine. So physically, a person is not going to configure those things in your cloud infrastructure. Okay, so who is going to configure your programs? So you're interacting with what? You're interacting with your dashboard. You're interacting with your portal, or you're interacting with your console. And these consoles are nothing but they're a group of programs which are designed to configure that particular service. So you're interacting with the programs, and these programs will send the code, and that code will be sent to a cloud infrastructure, and whatever is your demand requirement, okay, those things will configure. So physically, a code cannot tell physically that you have one CPU, 10 CPU like that, okay. But in a virtualized environment, everything can be coded, everything can be programmed. That is the advantage of virtualization. And based on that, we design out all your cloud resources, all your demands regarding your cloud services. Okay. So in demand for CPU, a physical CPU will be not added, a virtual CPU will be added, a virtual hard disk will be added, a virtual memory will be added, a virtual switch or routing will be added. Okay. So everything is here virtual. You have to program, you have to just select what you want and what how much capacity you want. Based on that, that will be provision. Okay. So IS provides you to create your own, I can say your own data center. Okay, it's like a virtualized data center in some others physical infrastructure. Only thing is what you're paying, what you're going to use for. Okay, so the best examples of your infrastructure as services are like Amazon AWS, okay, Windows Azure, Google, Rackspace, IBM Smart Cloud, HP Enterprises. Also, so there are so many cloud vendors. Okay, and now in India locally also many other cloud vendors are entering. It's going to reduce a cost to a very high extent. Okay, so in the future these services will become very cheaper. Okay, when the local people are going to enter, the services will become like very cheaper. Like for example, I have internet on Geo or Airtel, and at the same time I have internet from the Beam cables or Apollo or Hathway from our local like city, from the city only they provide. Okay, and in that case I have 75 Mbps like that, which is not possible in a Geo and all that. Okay, so they hardly charge 400, 600, 700 rupees, and they provide how much of 150 GB like that per month. Okay, and their speed is also very fast, and their cost is also very low. So when the local cloud vendors will come in future, okay, that will become more cheaper. Okay, fine. So we are going to learn about Amazon AWS. Okay, so let us see what are the certifications and topics we are going to cover. Fine. So these are a few examples already we have discussed. Okay, so Amazon provides many certification, and the main categories of services are like certifications are like AWS certified associate and professional level. Okay, so our course is for 2 weeks, including Saturdays and Sundays. Okay, including Saturday also. So almost I have to take one Sunday also. The course duration will be around 2 hours or 2.5 hours. Average will be like 2 hours 15 minutes or 20 minutes. Okay, and after, so currently we are having a batch from 8:30 to 10:30 or 10:45 like that. Okay, and after your classes we can go with your labs and all. Okay, now we are covering here, like if you see on the screen, we have associate level as well as professional level. Okay, it has three certifications. So AWS certified solution architect, AWS certified developer, and AWS certified sysoperation. Each certification will cost you around $150. Professional will cost you around $300. Okay, so most of the freshers they generally go for solution architect. 90% people they prefer to go with the solution architect. Okay, I assume that you are a fresher and you won't have much knowledge. Then it's better you approach for solution architect. Okay, but assume that already you have some experience as a system admin or a virtualization admin like that. Then you can directly go for sys of system operation administrator in solution associate level. Okay, but assume that you have some coding knowledge like Python or C sharp, okay, or like Node.js and all. Okay, that means if you have some knowledge of coding, then I will prefer you to go for AWS developer. Okay, so during our course, we are going to cover solution architect also, and all the topics under system operation also, and half the topics of developer. So what I'm skipping is I'm just skipping the programming part. See, I deal with shell scripting in Python also. Okay. Now those things we are not discussing in this course. Okay. Let us say if you want to have some help, I can help you out. But except coding, okay, I've seen that more than 95% of our candidates then they don't prefer to go with coding and all that. But in future it is required. Okay. So still you want to have some idea about that, I can help you out. But our course is more focused on solution architect certification and system operation certification. Okay, so what are experience I've gained from last 14 or 18 years? Okay, regarding many fields are there. So our classes we are going to discuss right from the fundamentals, so that those who are freshers here, they can also learn this course. Okay, those who already have experience, okay, they need some patience to understand this. Okay, they need to have patience. Okay, so we are going to cover right from the basic level to the high level. Okay, so as I said, we are going to focus more on these two certifications. Okay. Now, if you want to have the questions regarding these certifications, you can install a software from your Google Play Store. You can just type there AWS Solution Architect. Okay, you'll get many freeware softwares. You can try like 60 questions will be coming there, so you can practice and you can prepare for your exams for your AWS certification. Okay, fine. Yeah, those who are having some good experience, they can go for professional level. Okay, but professional level really requires some hands-on, okay, real-time experience, I can say. Because maybe passing the exam might be easier, but when you start facing the interviews, okay, it becomes somewhat typical. Okay, so if you are going for professional level, then I will prefer that you should have some good knowledge of coding also and programming also. Okay, fine. So we will see what are in more detail regarding this certification in coming classes. Okay, fine. So during this course, what we are going to cover? So these are the main services what we are going to cover. Okay, main topics. So under compute we are going to cover regarding EC2. EC2 stands for Elastic Cloud Computing. Under this we have some very core topics like load balancer, auto scaling, which is very widely configured. Okay. Apart from that we have like Elastic Block Storage, Amazon Machine Image, networking and security. Okay. Then we have Elastic Beanstalk. So we'll see how to deploy our website code. Okay. Under this topic. Then we have a very important topic, I can say the heart of this course, like your networking and okay, content delivery. In that we have a topic called as VPC. We will learn how to create your subnets, public subnet, private subnet, how to manage your routing tables, how to go with your internet gateway, what is Elastic IP, NAT gateway peering. Okay. These are topics what we're going to cover under VPC. It will take almost 2 or 3 days to cover this all topics. Okay. Then regarding the firewalls, we will also discuss like security groups, that's the instance level firewall. Then we will discuss about network ACLs, that is your subnet level firewall. Okay. Then I will give an overview of VPN connection also. Okay. Apart from that, under this category, we have another service called as Route 53, which is equivalent to your DNS service, just like your ISP. Okay, ISP runs the DNS service, so it is equal to your DNS service. Okay. Fine. Then we have CloudFront, which is going to replicate your web service at different multiple locations, so that the website can be accessed much more faster by the users who are in that location. Okay. Then we have storage class. So we have one more storage is there. Here it is your EBS storage, local storage. Okay, maybe after 2 days we are going to have this class. Then we have a separate topic like separate. We can select headings here. Storage. Under that we have S3. It is called abbreviated as Simple Storage Service. Then we have Glacier also, which is again a cloud storage. S3 and Glacier is a cloud storage. Then we have like a EFS Elastic File System. Okay, it's small topic. Then we are going to learn how to create the users. That means, suppose I have my account in my company. Let us say a corporate account is there, and there we have several teams like database team. Okay, virtualization team is there. Okay, again system admin team is there. Like that, multiple teams are there, and we want to provide certain services to these users. Okay, or to some of these users who are going to manage that service. Okay, so these things can be done with the help of IAM. So with the help of IAM, what we can do is, on the behalf of my account, I can create multiple users. Okay, multiple users, and they can start using this Amazon services. Okay. Then we have database, so we'll discuss about RDS like the Oracle and MySQL and all that. Then we have DynamoDB and Redshift. So these are all the database technologies provided by Amazon. So we'll discuss about this. Okay. Then we have monitoring tools like CloudWatch, CloudTrade, and we'll also see how to go with the CloudFormation, a code as a service. So you can have a template or a script or a code. Once you run that script or code, the whole infrastructure will be created. That we are going to learn under CloudFormation. Then we have some more additional miscellaneous services like queue service, yeah, notification service, important service. This is okay. Simple workflow service. Okay, so these are the topics what we are going to cover. Fine. Then we will also have a session on email service. Okay, and then at the ending I will show you concepts regarding like server migration and a small demo on DevOps. Okay, so these are topics what we are going to cover in our this 2 weeks course. Okay, so our course duration, as I said, is 2 weeks, but as I said, the session will be around 2 hours 15 minutes to 2.5 hours. Okay, including Saturdays and at least one Sunday I have to take. Okay, you can visit these sites to get the details regarding the future and job requirements for your cloud. Okay, fine. Now let me show you a few sites so that you can have some idea. Now see here, what is the future of your cloud in India? Okay, I have just quoted long back this one. So you see, it is no question that the cloud market continues to expand in India, so will the number of job prospects. It is estimated that this year alone, cloud computing will create over 2 million jobs. The players like TCS, Infosys, HCL, Tech Mahindra, so they are now planning to have the cloud infrastructure in India itself. Okay, so it's going to boost up the market. A lot of requirements are there. So you can see. So because of the digital India, many projects had been initiated, so which is going to create some 18 lakhs of job, and in that 18 lakhs, a good number of jobs will be on cloud computing. As you know that 100 smart cities are going to come in near future in India, and you cannot imagine a smart city without IT infrastructure. And to facilitate that, okay, to facilitate all that IT infrastructure, the best option is what? Go with cloud. Okay, fine. So like that, you visit some sites, you'll get a lot of information regarding how the cloud is moving up. Okay, so the main thing is because now we have internet facilities, we have now 4G. Now Reliance is moving towards the next level. We can say like Geo, like the 5G connections like that. Okay, so 4G can go up to 100 Mbps. Still we won't get, but it is up to 100 Mbps. We can call it as 4G. The moment we say 5G, it will go at the speed of 1 giga to 2 giga like that. Okay, so over the internet only we are going to get such a high speed. Okay, giga Mbps. So that is going to boost the market. That means as the internet facility will become easier. Okay, so cloud technologies will grow like that. As you know that in the coming years, the new technologies like robotics, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things and all, so they all uses internet. They all need what? A cloud infrastructure like that. Okay, and that's the reason that if you will appear for any interviews, those who are freshers like BTech and all that, now even the companies like TCS and IBM and all that, they want to have candidates who are having some knowledge on artificial intelligence also, IoT also, as well as the cloud services also. Okay, now it has become like a mandatory. Like even the programmers, they need to have some knowledge of cloud. Even the database people, they need to have some knowledge of cloud. That means in next few years, okay, it has been estimated that in next 5 to 7 years, more than 87 or 80% of your infrastructure will get migrated on the cloud. Okay, so I hope that you got some understanding. Okay, what is cloud? So in the next session, we'll see regarding AWS infrastructure. Okay, how your AWS infrastructure is globally configured, and then we'll see how to launch your Windows and Linux machine. I'll give a small demo today regarding a Windows machine, and that, so it's some overview for today's session. But in the next class, we'll go with the full-fledged. Okay. Yeah. Before that, I want to say one more thing, that if you want to create your account, okay. So if you want to go with your account, Amazon helps you. It allows you to create a free account. Okay, so you can avail 1 year free account. Fine. You can have what? You can have 1 year free account. So few things are required in order to create your account. First is you should have a debit card or credit card. Then you need a mobile number which is registered on your debit card or credit card, and one email ID. Okay. With the help of these three, you can create 1 year free account. You can create multiple accounts, but the email ID should be different. Okay. I'll just show you a few screenshots what I've taken while creating the account. It will give you some idea how to create your account. Okay. Now see here, you just log into your aws.amazon.com and just sign in and just go for create a new account. Okay. So this is a previous interface. So now in the slightly the interface got changed. Okay. So select here I am a new user. Once you select, it is going to ask you for your details. What is the name you want to see on your dashboard while login of your AWS console. Okay, provide your email IDs, provide your passwords and all. Okay. So once you have done it, it is going to ask for the type of account. So you can provide your account like company or personal account. It depends on you. I prefer to go with the company account. Okay, you can give your home address and all. Okay, the company accounts, certain limits are there. We'll discuss about limits in coming class. Okay. So just select, it's your choice, but I prefer to go with company account. Okay. Then you provide your card details. Okay. So Visa card or your MasterCard or American Express. So these type of cards are supported, and be sure that your international banking is also enabled. Okay. Sometimes it won't get accepted. Okay. So just provide your card details. After providing that, if you are from India, then they are going to deduct 2 rupees. That means a 2 rupees will be taken from your account, and they'll check. That means they will check the validity of your card. Okay. Once it has been validated and confirmed, that 2 rupees will be reverted back to your account. Okay. Fine. So it is almost a zero charge. Okay. Then once your account is created, you have to provide your phone number and click on here, call me. Okay. So once you click on call me option here, you'll get the call from US. The moment you get the call, it will be electronic call. Okay. So this 4-digit numbers will be displayed on the screen. Okay. After listening to that call, you please dial this 4-digit number on your mobile. Okay. Once this 4-digit numbers are entered successfully, your account will be created. Okay. And you'll get a congratulations message like that. Okay. And then it is going to ask for the plan. So we have 3 options here: basic plan, developer and business. So if you want to stay on a free tier account, you go for basics. Okay. Otherwise you can go for developer and business, but in that case they are going to charge like 3,000 or 70,000. So be careful. Okay. So for your all your practice, you can go for basic. Okay, basic type of plan, and that is how your account will get created. Okay. Now at the end, I will show you a small demo on your how to configure Windows machine, and next coming class we'll discuss in detail all the options. Okay, just for understanding, I'm going for this option. Okay, so let us try. So what you do is just log into your account. Okay, so this is the screen what you get now. Okay, now sign into your account. Provide your email ID and password. Now once you have done it, so as I said, I will not go in detail today. Next session we'll go for that. So select here service and go for compute. Okay, and select here EC2, Elastic Cloud Computing. Fine. Then we have so many options here. We'll discuss all these things. Okay. So just select your launch instance. So I'm going to launch Windows 2008 operating system. Okay. Launch your instance. So you can see here I have currently 35 OS here. But if I go for like community based images, how many I'm having? Let me go for Oregon. And Mumbai region was just in 2016 only it was started. Okay, so you can see here if I go for community based, I have more than 76,000 images. Okay, in that we have Amazon Linux, CentOS Linux, Debian Linux, Fedora, other Linux, Red Hat Linux, Ubuntu as well as Windows. Okay, so many people they have a doubt that should we have a Linux knowledge or not. It's not compulsory. Okay, Amazon infrastructure is built on Linux. But if you want to use Amazon services, if you want to configure, you can configure those things on Windows also, as well as you can configure those things on Linux also. Okay, fine. So these are all the OS images. We'll see what is AMI, Amazon Machine Image. It's just like your pre-configured OS, or I can say like just like a ghost image. Okay. So today's session I will go for a quick start, and to stay under free tier I'll go for like free tier, and I'm going today for Windows 2000 so that you can easily understand. Okay, so I'm going for Windows 2008 R2 base, which comes under free tier. Okay, so select here. So first I selected the OS. Now this is regarding your hardware. Okay, so we'll see about all these things in detail in the coming class. So currently I have one CPU and 1 GB of RAM. Okay, I can go up to how many CPUs? Yeah, I can go up to 128 CPUs. Okay, but don't select this. If you select this, your account will be, bank balance will be over. It will charge you like 1 or 2 lakhs. Okay, so be careful. So if you want to stay under free tier, select here. Okay, a free tier eligible. This is your hardware specification. Okay, so T2 Micro will see what is all these things in detail. We'll see. Okay, today I am not going for. So very brief. If I say it is regarding your hardware. Okay, just say next. So be careful. You should stay under free tier. So how many operating system I want to install? It depends on me whether I want to go for 10 machine or 100 machine or okay. So for your understanding purpose, I'm going to launch 2 machines. So one machine of Windows takes 4 minutes. So how many 100 machines will take how many minutes? So it will also take 4 minutes, not 100 minutes. Okay. So I'm going to launch 2 Windows servers. This is regarding your VPC and networking. Okay. Then it takes by default 30 GB hard disk, and that is also SSD hard disk. Okay. Let us give some name to this machine. So this is Windows VM. Let us say 1. Okay, just say next. Then again we have security tab. So we'll discuss about firewall rules and everything in our security class or VPC class. Okay, fine. And then check your summary. What OS you have selected, what is your hardware, what is your firewall rules and all that. And just say launch. Then it is going to ask for key. So today I am not going to discuss here launch the instance. So tomorrow we will have a full-fledged class for this. Okay. Now once you have done it, just check your instance is launched or not. Okay. Now once your machine, it takes 4 minutes. Okay. For Windows it takes 4 minutes. For Linux it takes 2 minutes. Okay. Sorry, I have to write 2 here. Okay. So this is how your IaaS, infrastructure as service. Okay. We're going to configure. Okay. So you are going to have what? Windows machine, or you can have Linux machine. In Linux you can have SUSE or Debian or Ubuntu like that. Okay. So let it get configured. So meanwhile, yeah, what you do is, those who want to have my details or any problem if you face, you please you can contact me over here, or you can contact to online team. Okay. Now these are my details. This is my email ID. You can leave an email ID on this email. You can contact me on this number. That's my WhatsApp number. This is our online team. Okay. Fine. Okay. So let me check whether we can connect to this machine or not. So there are different methods to connect. Okay. Today I'm going with the straightforward method. So connect. So this is your DNS name or IP address, the username, and we have to get the password. Okay. If I download this RDP file, then this file will already have the IP address and the username. Okay, you'll see that. Just wait. Now I need to locate this file. This is the key file to generate your password. Fine. So I got the password. So what I can do is I can click here, like I can go with the remote desktop application, MSDSC, and I can provide this DNS name or IP, and then I can provide username and password. Okay, or I can click on this RTP file, which is your remote desktop gateway file. Just connect this, so it will take automatically the IP and name. Your job is just to provide the password. Okay, so what is the password? Let's try. This is the password. You can change the password. Once you first time you need to give this password. Okay, later on you can change the password. Say yes. So now you have got connected to your data center. So where this machine is launched? So this machine is launched in the region called as Oregon. So these are all the cities. So Oregon is a city in US, okay, America. So from that place, I am able to configure one Windows machine and I am able to log in to that Windows machine. Got it? So that's all for today's session. Okay.